Hi everyone, Mike Uyak here for Recipe Redemption. I am not a vegetarian, or definitely not a vegan, but it seems like it's a very good time to be one. The technology has gotten to the point where we have products that are available to the vegetarian minded that are much higher in quality than they used to be. Used to be if you decided that you were going to live a vegetarian or a vegan lifestyle, your choices were somewhat limited and more limited than just the fact that you don't eat meat. The choices that you had, the options you had available to you, were not good. They either had a really, really unpleasant texture. The flavor was, if you were lucky, it was just very vegetal, obviously, but sometimes was just plain bad. And there has always been this focus on producing products that were supposed to replace meat in your diet. They offer you all of the nutritional benefits, the protein that you may or may not be missing, those sorts of things, but also the flavor and texture and aroma of real meat. The technology just wasn't there. And so you had a lot of textured soy protein or to other vegetable proteins, tofu, gluten, fried gluten, especially in Asian cuisines. That was your vegetarian meat substitute, and sort of, but not really. But now we have things like the Impossible Burger, which purportedly is indistinguishable from ground beef. And I have seen where people have started to use the same product, the Impossible Burger meat substitute, for other things. There's someone who actually made a completely 100% vegan Philly cheesesteak that was, by his taste tester's opinion, completely indistinguishable from a real honest-to-goodness Philly cheesesteak. I would like to try that and go further and even try other beef products, like doing some sort of vegan souvlaki or gyros or something like that. But it remains to be seen how other meat products hold up. Because today I'd like to try vegan tuna. That's right. They actually make a vegan tuna, and according to the packaging here, or the labeling here, this is made out of pea protein, pea starch, water, olive oil, black pepper, potato starch. So there's got to be plenty of things to actually hold this together if you're going to make a product that feels like tuna, has the same sort of texture and mouthfeel. Sea salt, seaweed powder. I'm wondering if that's also a binder, kind of like carrageenan or agar. Basically, they make a lot of some of these thickeners out of seaweed. Maybe that's that. Organic agave nectar, a little sweetness. Organic apple cider vinegar. Konjac powder. Again, it's that Japanese yam that they actually make basically gluten-free pastas from. Let's see, ginger. It's non-GMO, soy-free. Okay, great. I do notice in the nutritional facts. Now, one of the things is that people say they turn to vegetarianism for health reasons. So I want to see the nutritional information here. And comparing that to just a regular can of cheapy grocery store tuna. This is not a premium brand. So this is arguably probably the worst quality tuna that you're likely to get. But comparing, now the first thing that I notice on the vegan tuna, 3 servings per can of tuna. I don't know about you, but when I open a can of tuna, it is with the intention that I'm going to eat the whole can of tuna, not a third of it. So we'll have to keep that in mind. Whereas, like I said, the regular can of tuna, It's one serving is a can of tuna. So, 90 calories per serving, so that is 270 calories per can, as opposed to 80. That sort of makes sense. This has a lot more starches in it, so more carbs. And if you look at the carbs, 5 grams, so 15 grams of carbs per can, as opposed to, well, 0 in the actual tuna because it's meat. So there's not, and it's, 0 detectable carbs. Obviously, no fiber. This actually has 9 grams of fiber per can. So that's something in its favor if fiber is something you're worried about. So 15 total grams of fat in this, as opposed to tuna. That's one of the things that tuna is kind of popular among the weightlifting crowd, is that it is a virtually fat-free, cholesterol-free, carb-free source of protein. It's basically just pure protein and, well, salt. As opposed to this, it has carbs, it has more fat because they've added oils to it to, or have they? Yeah, olive oil, in order to kind of give it a richer mouth feel. Sodium, 210, so 630 milligrams per can, as opposed to 270. So it is considerably saltier. 18 grams of protein, as opposed to 18 grams of protein. So same. A little bit more calcium, a little more iron, just from the vegetables that went into this. So, you can argue healthier, but depends on what you mean by healthier. It's higher in carbs, it's higher in fat, it's higher in sodium. Same amount of protein. But there's fiber in it. This is cruelty-free. There's no possibility that not only dolphins, I mean, this is marked dolphin safe as well, but no other sea life was harmed in the creation of this product, because no sea life at all was harmed, except for, I guess, the seaweed, if you care. And depending on where you got your ingredients from, there's less of a risk of heavy metals as opposed to actual tuna, because this is a predator fish. There is sort of bioaccumulation of toxins and heavy metals from its diet. So it's possible. That's why they say you should limit your consumption of predator fish like tuna, salmon, those sorts of things, to twice a week. This, arguably, you could have more often. But the real proof of the pudding, so to speak, is, does this actually taste like tuna? Let me get a can opener and let's find out. And the answer is no. That doesn't look like tuna fish. There's a little bit of flakiness to it, but they didn't make it into chunks that would be sort of identifiable as like pieces of tuna. And it smells... I'm trying to identify the smell. Actually, it really does smell kind of like cans of vegetarian chop suey that I sometimes get from the Asian grocery store. The added oil, you can actually sort of smell it. You can smell the black pepper, and you can actually see the black pepper. There's a little black flecks in there that they added to this to give it flavor. But yeah, that does not remind me of tuna. However, let's see what it tastes like. If you set your brain to think tuna, that is not tuna. That is really oily. They could probably stand to add less oil to this, because it actually coats your mouth, the amount of oil. The only really off-putting thing about this is when you have the expectation of getting tuna and you don't get it. It looks like cat food, but it doesn't have the same sort of texture. It's actually a little bit granular. Yeah. There's a protein chew to it. Maybe if you like really stirred up a can of tuna so it broke apart into little tiny bits. But even then, for its, I don't know, particle size, it's chewier than I would expect for tuna. This really doesn't remind me of tuna at all. Really. It's closer to the texture of pulled pork, of really, really finely pulled pork. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's not tuna. But generally speaking, I don't just sit down and tuck into a can of tuna all by itself. Maybe if you pair this with other flavors, it'll be a little more like tuna. Let me see what I can do. Okay. Took some of the vegan tuna. Mix it with some mayonnaise, a little bit of dill pickle relish, some chopped celery, a little bit of garlic powder, onion powder, sprinkle of salt. Basically turned it into my basic tuna salad recipe. And I don't have any bread right now, but no, not tuna salad. Texture's still all wrong. Now, the flavor of the vegan tuna is kind of covered up by some of the others. I sort of suspected that pairing with some other things, the flavor would be kind of muted and maybe you could be fooled into thinking it was tuna. But stirred into this mixture now, it sort of has, it sort of takes on the texture of like cooked ground beef that you've really, really crumbled up so that it's little tiny bits. I'm going to need something to kill the taste of that. So, we have a little ways to go when it comes to producing a really convincing vegan substitute for tuna. We're getting there with beef. I'm sure the other meat products aren't far behind. Pork, maybe chicken. Chicken's going to be a little bit more difficult just because, except for chicken nuggets, which are so highly processed that they don't have the muscle texture anymore. Well, that, and they're probably only about 15% actual chicken. So, but you know, they're so highly processed that you don't really get the texture of chicken. But if you were to actually, well, take a look at my video for the vegan fried chicken, it's really hard to sort of get those muscle striations right. So that one's going to be a bit of a challenge too. But tuna, they need to go back to the drawing board. Oh, and one more thing. I did not find this in a store. I had to order this online. I'm sure there's probably a store somewhere that sells it. I don't know where they are. I don't shop there, that's for sure. So I had to order this online. So with shipping, this is a $9 can of not quite tuna, as opposed to, right at the current moment, $1.25 a can for real tuna. So, is it worth it to you to have a tuna substitute rather than just eating regular tuna? If you stick to your guns and your principles and say, okay, I'm going to eat vegan, and for whatever reason, I must have tuna. Do you really? So, something to consider. It is significantly more expensive, arguably healthier, hard to say. Not not better. Yeah, not better. So, with that, that's my review of Sophie's Kitchen Vegan Black Pepper Tuna. We can do better. I think someone needs to go back to the drawing board because we should have the technology for better stuff like this by now. So, with that, I'd like to thank you for watching. Invite you to please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit that little bell down below. That'll notify you anytime I post a new video. And please keep ideas coming. If you have any ideas for things for me to try, for recipes for me to redeem, anything like that, please let me know, and I'll see about making a video for it. Until next time, I'm Mike Uyak. Thanks for watching.